the April 18th meeting of the Finance and Facilities Committee. Approval of the minutes. There's no minutes to approve. Okay. Action items. 2.1. Recommended approval of payroll certification. Motion. Move. Margaret, second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recommended acceptance of SUNY Grant Award 2023 EOP Free Freshman Summer Program. Motion.
Move.
Jim. Second. Margaret. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 2.3. Recommended approval of sabbatical request meeting 4/14. We met at 1 p.m. Motion.
Move. Recommend.
Second.
I don't understand that. I'm second.
Okay.
Now I
Question.
understand it.
Okay.
Approval of sabbatical request meeting.
We had a meeting.
Sorry, that was for my notes. I didn't take it off the agenda.
Pardon?
That was for my notes. I didn't take it off the agenda when you're
Okay.
moving.
Oh,
it.
all right.
Okay, thanks.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. 2.4. Recommend approval of contract with Matco to complete emergency repairs to equipment resulting from the unforeseen power outage on campus. Motion.
Move.
Margaret, second.
Aye.
Jim, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Recommended approval of contract, for TK elevator for modernization of the old science building elevator under Sourcewell contract number 080420. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Jim, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Recommend approval of bid 2023-06 SUNY Broome Student Services and Old Science Toilet Room renovation, plumbing construction. Motion. Jim. Second.
Second.
Margaret, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right here.
Did she say
She
motion?
said aye.
Oh, okay.
Are you having difficulty hearing me? Every time I see six faces turn and stare at some screen, so I can't tell if there's audio issues or you're not able to hear me say aye.
It's just a couple seconds delayed.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. I keep seeing it and I'm like, is something off?
It's just a second or two audio delay.
Okay, 2.7, recommend amendment to extend the
We
term
didn't
of,
have it. Did we vote on the plumbing construction? Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
because then the question came after the, okay. 2.7, recommend amendment to extend the term of the SUNY system-wide contract with the Illusion Company LP for the Banner Enterprise Resource Planning ERP System Information Technology Services and Student Help Desk Services. Motion. Make the motion. Jim. Second.
I guess.
Mark. Any questions? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 2.8, recommend approval of resolution to submit SUNY Broome proposal 2023, proposed 2023 to 2024 operating budget to the county executive and Broome County legislature. Motion.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Jim, second.
And I have a question. Do they ever say no? You people?
You people.
Well, we go meet with them and sometimes there's a little.
So it's negotiated before
Sometimes,
you get
yeah,
there?
sometimes it just.
I know,
We go meet with them and sometimes there's a little negotiation that goes on, absolutely, and sometimes not.
But you know before you go in what the answer is.
We think we do.
Well,
You usually, and we generally have, I think one year we proposed 0 increase to the sponsor. Generally, at least in the last half a dozen years, we generally request 2%. That gives the county exec a little bit of room if he wants to support the college. Things are tight, so sometimes we get a 1%. So, but we will know. So we're presenting this to the county executive, right? Then the county executive discerns during May. And then I think there's an understanding sometime during the month of May between the county executive and the county legislature. That's really the conversation. I think that also, because generally the chairman is also in attendance at the discussions.
But they have never refused, giving you an answer you didn't expect.
No. Well, maybe one time, but,
During COVID, yeah.
yeah.
In the past, don't you usually meet with the committee?
Yes.
When the legislative committee
It's
meetings?
June.
Oh, that's
right?
in June.
So
Okay.
generally in May, it's internal with
Okay.
budget and, county exec staff and I chair to, leadership. And then we have a pretty good understanding. Then it gets submitted to the ledge, and then we go through the committee process, education, and then finance, and then full session.
If I remember correctly, usually a lot of that is done prior to the actual meeting of voting, so that it is not a surprise when it comes to the. All right.
The Democrats might be able to do it this year, we don't know, because Jerry Kenneal's passing, and Mike Ponchella was stepping in.
Oh, I didn't know
basis, yeah.
You didn't know he passed?
No.
Yeah.
How, is his mother still alive?
Pardon?
Is his mother still alive?
I don't think so.
I don't
read
think
it.
It wasn't mentioning it either.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good, because he took care of his mother. so.
Thursday and Friday are the service. Okay,
We'll do it.
still on 2.8, and motion has been made, seconded. We've answered questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. Okay, information items.
In the interest of time, because today is Convocation Day, which starts at 9:30. I was copied on a note from either SUNY or the state on Margaret and Anthony. They're looking for follow-up information for your appointment to the board. Just wanted to remind you.
Right, I was away, so I never
Okay.
got it.
Well, it was just in the last few days
Yeah.
that they sent that, so they at least would copy me, so just wanted to mention that. And then
Anthony too, huh?
Anthony too, yes.
I wonder if we could vote it out.
New governor,
Kathy.
who knows? We had a meeting with all the RADC co-chairs yesterday. That was interesting up and helping with her. Overall a good meeting, but still a lot up in the air. But I'll end there in the interest of time, so that we can hopefully make the convocation by 9:30.
Okay.
I'll say more Thursday night. Thank you.
Okay. Budget and finance.
Thank you. So just a couple of things. So at the board meeting on Thursday, the auditors will be on Zoom call on a DO to present the 21-22 fiscal year audit for the college. I'll just say we got a clean opinion, which is the best opinion you can get. There weren't any findings. Is Jeanette here?
Right here.
Oh, there you are. And that's kind of she's really the chief accountant for the college, and she does a tremendous amount of work. It's a lot of effort. This year we had to incorporate FSA and housing in order to have them eligible for her funding. We had to have them as component units within the college. There's a lot of changes with Gatsby lease. And because we actually are still leasing Carnegie Culinary and Event Center during the historic tax credit and the new market tax credit compliance period. In essence, one of the corporations is leasing it to the college until that compliance period is over, and then the college will actually own culinary and event center. So a lot of complications this year around all of that, but Jeanette did a beautiful job and her team. So I just really want to acknowledge her. I also just like to acknowledge Larry. Larry spends a lot of time, too much time with me on the budget. And so we appreciate you approving that. And been a difficult couple of years with the COVID dynamics and enrollment dynamics, but I think we have a pretty reasonable and a pretty positive budget. Segueing into that, also on Thursday, if you remember last month, we kind of ran out of gas and ran out of time. So we will be presenting, now that we have the budget, one of the key fiscal years, it's next year's budget. And then we drive the updated sustainability plan for those 4 out years. Okay, so we'll be doing a presentation on Thursday. So you don't have to hear it twice, your year-end Thursday. So we'll do that. And so those are kind of the key things. Just you have the monthly forecast. Numbers is just about the same. We've moved stuff around. Payroll seems to be better in alignment over the past 4 or 5 months. As you know, utility costs are just exploding. So that's a big number for us. I mean, it's up 50%. So that's $500,600,000 that we had to deal with. So that also drives the sustainability plan, because this year is the forecast, then we have a proposed budget. So those 2 are really the anchor years, and then the 4 years that go out. So I have a heavy agenda on Thursday with the budget, audit, and the sustainability plan. So I think that'll be pretty key as we go forward. So that's the rest of the items are informational under 2.2. Just on the record, we did make the monthly mortgage payment for housing, and just briefly, we are in earnest, seriously preparing for the refinancing of the housing. Its 10th year is early next year. So we're in a pretty good place to go out to the market and get that refinance. So we'll provide you more information. Housing really is the corporate entity that's driving it, but the college plays an important role in supporting housing. So we'll keep both boards advised as we go forward. That concludes my report for today.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. The first 4 items are probably the most problematic. The construction of the fitness court began today. We had to temp the area because we need to keep the concrete pad at 50 degrees or better to ensure an adequate floor installation before we start to put the equipment in. But that entire project should be done by the end of the day on Friday. Construction of the 3rd pavilion is underway, and as you drove in to Wales this morning, you probably saw it off to your left. Just a recap of the bid that you approved for plumbing for the restroom for Old Science Student Services. That project was originally bid a month ago. We only received 1 plumbing bid, and collectively we thought, us and the architect, that bid was too high, so we rebid it. We received 4 bids this time. The bid a month ago was $538. The bid this time was $405 or $407. So we saved about $130,000. So it was worth our effort to rebid that. The RFP for the architectural services for Old Science, and converting that to a student union, has been completed. and that will be advertised within the next week or two. And then it's a listing of the other projects that we have ongoing. The last two items on the report, design for the Decker Nursing renovation project continues with the Project Oversight Committee meeting on a bi-weekly basis. We met last week. We're going to meet again this week to continue to try to hone down the needs that we have in that building to ensure that we fall within the budget that we've been allotted. And lastly, as soon as we begin to receive the interior locks, we will begin the installation of those across campus, which, as you know, the board had approved monies for that a month or two ago. So that is a brief summary of my report, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Okay. Having completed our agenda, if there's no questions from the committee, Margaret, Jim,
Dana,
you're good?
Yep.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned. How's that for time?